Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Today I am joined by Andrew, aka Darkslayer. And today we're going to interview him about his favorite video game series, Devil May Cry, which does include Devil May Cry 3 as the best game in the series. So, Andrew, why don't you introduce yourself, or Darkslayer, whatever you want to be called.
Well, my name is Andrew, and I'm a big fan of the Devil May Cry series. I discovered Devil May Cry when I was 11 years old in 2011, and yes, I'm a 2000 baby. So my brother bought this game for the PS2, Devil May Cry, which I heard about but never played before, and I played the game, and it was like nothing I've ever played before. It's like this hack and slash with like story and like few cutscenes, but very good cutscenes, and not a lot of dialogue. And relatively like simple story. But man, I mean, I love the action, I love the gameplay, and I love like the characters.
Yeah.
Even though they have so few lines, I still am really into the series as a whole. And then Devil May Cry 2 was kind of like, I discovered that later. Then I played Devil May Cry 3, and when I was like 13, and then I was like, oh my god, I want to be Dante. And like kind of Dante's really inspired me. Like I'll say Dante from Devil May Cry 3 has inspired my life. Like I want to be like Dante here, but like he comes out of the shower and he's like drying off his hair. He's like shirtless. He's got like his own store. I think that's so cool. But yeah, I wish to be like him. And kicks the chair. Everything, like, he's so effortless. Like he does things so chill and easy. And like things just like, sometimes go his way, but sometimes don't go his way. But yeah, he's like just chilled out, which I kind of am now. And like, I just want to be a cool guy like him. But yeah, Dante's really changed my life, I must say. And also working out as well. Like when I was 14 years old, I'm like, yeah, I wanna work out to be like Dante. And then I started cosplaying Dante when I was like 16. And I still cosplay him now.
Have you reached
now that I'm 24?
Have you reached your goal of becoming Dante?
No, it's still very much a work in progress.
Yeah, no, that's.
I don't even know if it's achievable.
Yeah, I mean, can you do this?
Always a goal.
Can you do this? Back from just swinging the gun out, and
I can't do that.
Yeah. See,
I aspire to one day.
You need to be able to catch the pizza as it falls down too.
I could probably do that. I could catch the pizza as it falls down.
Can you get stabbed a million times and walk it off?
No, definitely not. I mean, I'm only human. I mean, Dante's half demon. I mean, I could never be that. Yes, I'm human after all.
Yeah.
Blame on me.
Yeah. So this is, I think, peak cinema right here. This opening scene to Devil May Cry 3, I think it just shows how laid back and casual Dante is, and how many times I heard people really love grinding this first level because it kind of sets the tone for the whole game, and it's a good way to get used to the mechanics.
Yes.
And
especially the song.
And so I was looking at this series recently, and it's kind of crazy that they introduced styles in this game. They were technically new, and
yes,
that kind of became the basis for Dante, and they added, a few more weapons to his moveset. But it makes me think, the other characters in the series, like Virgil and Nero, right now they have their own moveset, but I think eventually going down the line, or in the future, if they really wanted to improve those movesets, I think they could add styles to Nero and Virgil. That would make sense.
Oh yeah. That'd be.
Yeah. But this is
style, it's kind of like a Dante thing,
Well, it is. But, you know, if they want to improve Nero and Virgil, I can see them very easily adding styles. They'd be different styles, though, because Virgil doesn't use any guns, so he can't obviously have Gunslinger. He would have, I don't know, Knife Slinger or something. He'd have something different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just speculation. So maybe walk me through why do you love this series so much, and maybe specifically why do you love Devil May Cry 3 so much compared to the other ones?
Okay, well, first of all, Dante's like attitude to the third one. Like in the first one, he says like some kind of like cocky one-liners and like, but also like I don't know, the first one, some of the architecture, some of the levels make me feel like, well, like some like the gaudy architecture. Mind some of the architecture is like, I don't know, beautiful may not be the right word, but it reminds me of like the Familia Sagrada, cathedral in Barcelona, which is interesting. So it kind of seems like the castle is kind of based on like Spanish
like castles and churches
architecture.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm not sure the Isle de Muerte or whatever. It sounds like an Italian place, and I feel like a lot of the a lot of the places in Devil May Cry, at least before 3, took place in like an Italian-esque scenario or scenery.
Yeah, definitely. Like Devil May Cry 2, you have like clay rooftops in the first beginning levels. Yeah, so it looks like looks like an island off of Italy.
Exactly.
Like Malta or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the first game takes place on an island too. But the third one, I just love his personality, and oh my god, the gameplay is good in Devil May Cry, but like Devil May Cry 3 made it even better with the styles, like with Trickster, Swordmaster, Royal Guard, and Gunslinger. And I don't know, I get much more insight to Dante's character in the third one, like his like, I don't know, he just like comes off so chill. But I love the first one too, because he's like, he will like, especially when he gets passionate with like Trish, and he's like, he says to Trish, "I should have filled her Darkslayer with lights," and like, okay, it comes off a bit corny. But also the part when Trish is like, "Oh, like, why did you save me?" And then Dante's like, "Oh, because like you remind me of my mother." And like, oh my god. And also in the third one, just the reason I love this series as a whole is just I want to say like the addiction of trying to get like perfect S rank, of like trying to get the highest combo. There's something so rewarding about that, like seeing the 3 S's, seeing the
so getting
smoking sexy style.
Yeah.
There's something so addictive about that, and I love how like the game rewards you for like using different moves, and like there's not like a single move that you can really, I don't know, at least the way I play, there's not a move that like, it doesn't encourage you to just spam the same move. Like you can play Dynasty Warriors and you can go like scrub. Be like, just like use the same move.
No, you have to be very.
But like,
this is a very skill based game. I was saying, you can buy vital stars and some health items to bring back your health, but there's nothing you can buy that makes you absolutely cheat the game. It's still very skill based.
Yes, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I love how like the gameplay never gets boring. Like it's crazy. I played like Devil May Cry, the first one, probably 10, maybe 12 times. I played the third one probably like 20, maybe 30 times even. And like every time I play it, there's always like something new I learn. Like it never stops surprising me. Like there's a move where Dante, you can like you saw in the intro cutscene, he could like put his foot on like one of the enemies here, and he can like skateboard on them. He can skate around and shoot his guns, and like it kind of just happens randomly. I'm not really sure how to do it, but I love those moments when you do random combos, and you do random moves that you don't really know how you did, and it's like, and you're just ever curious about the gameplay. Like, oh, like what does this sword do? What if I hold R1 and press triangle while going sideways within the van, and you realize, it makes you do a different attack when you go sideways. Like, oh my god, like it always surprises you. And all the weapons are like very unique. Like, I hate games when like all the weapons like do the same thing. Yeah. Like, where you're saying like in Black Ops 2, like everything goes like bah, 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 bah. Like all the guns felt the same. Yeah. In Call of Duty Black Ops 2. But this game, like every weapon's unique. Every style is unique. And I just love feeling like a god when you're like dodging enemies, or you don't even like, I love how like you don't need Trickster to dodge, but it helps. Yeah. You can always do the good old, do the side roll. But Trickster helps dodging. So yeah, and like, look that. The guy used roll guard right there and like reflect damage back. Yeah, I just love the mechanics. It's really awesome. And I love how the combos like they're timed. Like Devil May Cry 1 and 3 and 4, all the combos are timed. Yeah. Which I think is really interesting. Like it's not a game where you just like, just smash triangle.
That's like
or just combine.
Where you just smash triangle.
Yeah, like in Devil May Cry 2, that was a bit different because it's not obvious, but you have like standing and moving attacks, and you combine like standing and then moving forwards with the analog stick. But I don't know, really you're just pressing triangle and then you move or stand still, but there's not I didn't really feel like there was a difference in terms of like the effectiveness or the effect you want. Right. Where in Devil May Cry 3, it's like, some combos will do a lot of damage. Some combos will knock the enemy far back. Some combos won't do a lot of damage, but like it will stun lock them, and you can choose, do I want to wait the extra half second and then like finish off the combo, So yeah, I like how it's based on timing the combos with pressing triangle, and not about just mash one button as fast as you can, or maybe mash two buttons and see what happens. Right. But yeah, I like how it's like the gameplay's like intentional. Like you're not just like smashing a button to win.
Right. So it's not
like Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Final Fantasy 13 is turn-based, more or less.
Right. Well, you press X. You just use the default attack pretty much.
You are just using pretty much X, at least in the first part, for sure. And I think you've told me that the gameplay is very experimental. Like you'll experiment with certain weapons, or a different melee and a new ranged weapon combo, and you'll see what you can pull off.
Yes.
Like I think I figured out that you can reload the grenade launcher quickly.
Yes. Oh my god, that's so fun. Obviously I'm not the only one to figure that out, but so in Devil May Cry 1, you can like shoot the grenade launcher, and normally you have to wait like 2 seconds for it to reload. Or you can just do a sideways roll, and then you only have to wait 1 second, because when you do a sideways roll, you reset the gun, reset the grenade launcher, then you can only have to wait a second to shoot it. And it's actually good, because when you're fighting a boss like Griffin, he's shooting all these projectile attacks at you, you want to roll anyways as you shoot to like dodge his attack. So I don't think that was intentional that the grenade launcher resets and you can like shoot it faster that way, but it works, and I'll use that because it really helps with bosses and just shooting enemies. Just having to wait half the time, and you just gotta experiment. Like it wasn't until I played the Devil May Cry like maybe after like 8 times, I was like, you can just roll sideways to to shoot faster with a grenade launcher.
Right. Like, you didn't really grow up during the time when Devil May Cry was popular. You were just too young.
Yeah.
So you've always found it strange that Devil May Cry was like very popular. Like when people thought of PlayStation, they thought Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, and Devil May Cry.
Yes.
Yeah, and I showed you those PSN magazines. Like Devil May Cry, each installment got a separate cover on the front cover of PlayStation Magazine.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're right. Yeah. And it was like being put up there. Like I remember there was one cover that had like Snake on the left side from Metal Gear Solid 3, and then it had Dante on the right side. I'm like, whoa, wow! They actually put Devil May Cry up there with like those other PlayStation games. And I don't know. I just always
had this impression that Devil May Cry was a niche franchise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's so weird that you've always thought that, because it never really was until Devil May Cry 4 hit, and I'm not exactly sure what exactly happened. I think other games just got way more popular, and other games just got way more of the spotlight. But after Devil May Cry 4, it just got really quiet. I think Platinum started making, their games, and Capcom didn't make another Devil May Cry until Devil May Cry 5, which is like what, 2019 or 2020. So
yeah,
more
2019.
Than a decade later, it was like presumed dead until it was resurrected. So I guess I don't blame you for thinking it's a niche game. But when you had these 3 games coming out back to back, it was like part of the PlayStation identity.
Wow.
Yeah.
It kind of blows my mind to think about that, because I thought, it's so niche, like no one knew about it. But no, I guess not.
Yeah. And I think the one thing that stands out to me about Devil May Cry as a series, it's very fluid.
Yeah.
With how it treats its gameplay.
Yeah, no, very, very fluid indeed. Like, I think like moves are like, you can do in the Devil May Cry 3, you can do Stinger, and you can tap triangle really fast. And then after you do the Stinger, then you do the million stab move. Like, it's not like clunky.
I guess
very like smooth transition.
I guess the Devil May Cry series has had a weird history, because it's like the second Devil May Cry game disappointed everyone. The first Devil May Cry game blew everyone away, and then again Devil May Cry 3 blew everyone away, and then Devil May Cry 4 was kind of like, it was like okay. So how would you rank, each Devil May Cry game?
Well, we're just looking at the first 4.
Yeah.
Which are the only ones I've played so far.
Yeah.
Well, the second one is like okay.
Yeah.
Being honest. Then. Then I'd say. Devil May Cry 1. Then Devil May Cry. That's a hard one. No. Yeah, actually, you know what? No. I would say Devil May Cry 2, then Devil May Cry 4.
Yep.
Then Devil May Cry 1.
Yep.
And then Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and I'm putting Devil May Cry 4 below Devil May Cry 1, because I did not like the repeated levels. I mean, I love playing as Dante again. Yeah. Nero's really cool with his, with his devil arm. I love the songs. I mean, the music's beautiful in the 4th game.
Yeah.
But it's just when you repeat the levels, and I had a different feel. Like, you're in the jungle part of Devil May Cry 4, and it's like, oh, I'm in the jungle level, and like, I don't know, it didn't feel like it felt like it was losing a bit of like, why am I here? What's the character of this place? Where like Devil May Cry 1, like 1 and 3, like they had like character to the places where you were. And Devil May Cry 2, I mean, that was really lacking like atmosphere, and like what are you even doing here? Like there's way too few cutscenes in the second one. Like there's few cutscenes in the first one. We know what you're doing, what you got to do, why you're here. But the second one, it's like, oh, find the relics, find the things to undo. The bringing back of Argosax the demon, and fights Heihachi Mishima in his skyscraper building.
Yeah, Mr. Twin Towers, Dragon Ball Z hairdo.
Yes.
It's funny because I think Devil May Cry 2 actually did kind of have atmosphere. It's one of the one thing it did have, but it didn't have good direction, like you said. It's like, okay, cool, you're in this little town and it's like weird and mysterious, but like what are we even doing here? I think that is very true, that there was no direction for Devil May Cry 2. Very, very little, and very little character as well.
Yeah. But okay, no, I have to agree. The town had character, like it was kind of cute. Like it felt like a European town where like all the roads are not exactly straight, they're not all the same. All the buildings, no one building's like the other, and very big areas, which was like kind of shocked me. Like, whoa, like why weren't the areas as big as this in Devil May Cry 3? But like, at the same time, like I don't know, Devil May Cry 2 areas were a bit like empty. Like, yeah, I can go in this big world, but like not too much to do. There's some secret missions if you like check all the doors with a circle button, you know. Maybe a blue orb here and there, but but there's some parts of Devil May Cry 2. There's like I don't know what to call it. It's like a catacombs level.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that just I don't know, it didn't feel good. Oh, there was a really beautiful level where like I think it's just before the catacombs, and there's like this Persian arches. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. But there's no explanation. It's like, oh, it's not like, oh, you're going into the ancient burial grounds of the Persian king Xerxes and to find his staff of whatever to stop the coming of Argosax. Like, no, it's like, oh, you're just in a Persian like underground cave thing. And like, okay, it'd be cool if they added some context, but yeah.
Right.
And yeah, I would say, but there were some levels in Devil May Cry 2, like I don't know, there's like the skyscraper levels and like the city levels, like like I'm in the city.
Yeah,
and,
like, there's
an infested tank.
They're very open, you're right, and yeah, fighting the tank and the helicopter was so freaking disgusting. I don't remember exactly the reason why it was so bad and I didn't like it. I just remember it being not fun.
Yeah. Not fun, yes.
Yeah.
And like lack of direction. But I love that. Oh my god, I love like Devil May Cry 3, like the clock when you're like in the main room and you hear the clock go tick, 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 and you can hear like the somber kind of like music.
Oh yeah, in the main.
And you can hear like the whispering, and like that really built the atmosphere. You're like this like gothic, like ancient tower that was like brought up from like underground, and there's like Mesopotamian written on the wall in blue, and it's like, what? It's like this must be like this super ancient place.
It definitely reminds me.
You're like,
it reminds me of the vibe or the fact that originally this game was considered to be a spin-off of Resident Evil.
Right. Yes. Yes. Totally. Yeah. I get that. Like, especially just the font when you're looking at puzzle pieces, or oh my god, in the first Devil May Cry when you open up a door, like it zooms in on Dante and it fades. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember.
And in Devil May Cry 4, it zooms in on Leon and it kind of fades.
Oh, you're right. It blurry. Is the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the loading times are about the same. I love the loading screen in this game because you get to shoot and cut the loading sign, but you don't.
Oh yeah.
Do that naturally. Just have you just gotta press buttons impatiently, and then you're like, oh my god, I can cut and shoot the loading sign while I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Because I'm an angsty teenager. I can't wait to get back in the game. Oh, I hate loading screens, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the character, the feeling I got when I shoot and cut the loading screen.
Mm-hmm. I would say that Devil May Cry environments, I've never really been very fond of them, except for 3, because you're in this giant weird tower, so it makes sense. You have all these discongruent areas linked together. It makes sense that in one aspect you're in this cathedral, and then you could be in this other completely weird biome inside the tower because it's an unnatural state. When you're inside, Devil May Cry 1 and the castle, it makes sense at the beginning, but then you end up in like a forest, and then there's a pirate ship, and then there's just all this stuff there that just like, I guess this makes sense that this is here, but yeah, it kind of feels weird. And I got the same feeling with Devil May Cry 4 a bit, like, okay, you're in this village and suddenly there's a jungle. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that's where we were. And then after the jungle, you go to like the main castle area. And yeah, I really did not like the fact that they basically made you backtrack through the game as Dante. It felt kind of cheap. Maybe they could have done something different with the environments, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also like oh my god, like I love this series as a whole. Like all games, okay, some more so than others, but the music's great. Like the music gets you pumped, especially that first song in the first mission in Devil May Cry 3.
Oh yeah,
like that gets you pumped for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah. No,
yes.
I was saying,
and the boss music.
I think Devil May Cry 3 has the best music of the series.
Honestly, you're right.
Mm-hmm. You're right. A close second is actually Devil May Cry 4.
Yeah, Devil May Cry 4. Oh my god, I love the idol of space and time.
Mm-hmm.
The shop in Devil May Cry 4.
Yeah.
Also, I find every game, the shop music, the idol of space and time music, just keeps on getting better. Like first one, as I don't know, it sounded too dissonant. Second one was a bit better. Third one was pretty good, but the fourth one, like I fall asleep to that. That's so harmonious and it's not dissonant at all.
Yeah.
But the first one was more mysterious. It's more like it sounded like a bit more ancient. It sounded like a bit more like when you have the atonal like singer and they go like
yeah.
But it was a bit dissonant as well, which I don't know, kind of like hurt my ears.
Yeah. I think there's one thing I think you could tell everyone about, which is about your red orb obsession.
Oh yeah. So, in the first Devil May Cry, look, I was really determined to do it on the hardest difficulty, and I realized the harder difficulty you pick, the more expensive items in the shop are. And I figured, well, I'm going to have to grind to get all these items. And I looked up online, best ways to grind in Devil May Cry. And it was like, I think it was, on hard difficulty or higher. So there's easy, normal, hard, very hard, and then Dante Must Die difficulty in the first one. Mm-hmm. And you have to, on hard difficulty, basically go into the garden place, and you have to basically the boss Phantom spawns. Interestingly enough, he's not like as strong as the actual boss. Anyways, you can kill him in like a minute, and he'll drop like 500 orbs. But last I recall, I think on Dante Must Die difficulty, a single like vital star was like 5,000. I'm like, what? And then it's like you gotta kill him 10 times just to buy like one vital star on the hardest difficulty. And yeah, like, okay, I'll be honest, like on the hardest difficulty, okay, I'm not that hardcore. I don't try and get the best rank, like, because when you use items, it decreases your score. Mm-hmm. But like, man, I mean, there's some parts on the hardest difficulty, like. I'm like, I gotta use vital stars, man, because I don't know how else I'm gonna beat this game unless I'm like a god and I dodge everything, do all the combos, and kill the enemies fast enough and finish the mission. But yeah, so I decided to be like, well, what's the max number of orbs you can get? And in the first one, the max number of orbs you can get is 9,999,999 orbs. So I was like, okay, let's try doing this. And truth be told, I got up to 1 million. That is the truth. I did not get to 900 and 999,999 orbs. But I got a max number of like digits in the game because like I was grinding at that Phantom boss fight on hard in mission 2 for like, oh my god, how long? I probably did that, roughly like let me think, 2,000 times probably. And I was like, I'm good. I was like, I don't want to do 20,000 times. 2,000 times was good enough. And guess what? By the end of my playthrough, because I beat the game on hard, and then once you beat the game, then you can pick the next difficulty. And actually, correction, there is no very hard. It's just easy, normal, hard, and then Dante Must Die difficulty in the first one. And I know for sure in the third one they had very hard. But anyways, at the end of see that move he just did right there when he's like skateboarding on him? Like, I still don't know how to do that. It just happened. It's something like you hold R1, you press triangle when he's down on top of him, and you do it. But yeah, I actually ended up using, so of the 1 million orbs I grinded, I actually ended up using 500,000 orbs just on Vital Stars and Holy Water. So like all that grinding wasn't for nothing. It's like, no, if you're not godly at Devil May Cry the first one and you want to beat it, it's like, yeah, you're gonna end up like buying a lot of items and using them, until you get good, Yeah. But yeah, I actually ended up using half, like 500,000 orbs, just to get through the game at the hardest difficulty, pretty much.
Wow.
So my grinding wasn't just to see, what's the highest number. It was actually to help me, beat the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how was Moon?
Oh, and bridge falls. What? Did you see what he just did there?
Yeah, did he air height?
The bridge fell, and he did Stinger, and he double jumped. Okay, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Yeah, I've always tried to jump over that. Yeah. I do that too. I just jump. I use the helm breaker to go down faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is Mundus on the hardest?
Also, yeah. How is the first one the hardest difficulty?
Mundus.
Oh, Mundus. Mundus is like BS. He's just like okay, he spawns these orbs and first you gotta get through the first part when you're like Dark Knight, Sparta, Dante, and you're shooting your magic runes at him. Then we get up your devil trigger, use a dragon. And so you get through that part and you try not to use your yellow orb or golden orb, excuse me, because you may have to save that for the second part of the boss fight. But yeah, so you get through that part. That's decently hard. Just gotta dodge a lot and not get killed pretty much. But the actual fight with Mundus, I actually had to look up how to beat him because he spawns these orbs and they shoot lasers at you. And I don't know, even on hard, they didn't do a lot of damage. These orbs that rotate around the lava pit that you fight them in. But they do a ridiculous amount of damage on Dante Must Die difficulty. And I was like, this guy on YouTube was like, you have to shoot the orbs with your shotgun, which by the way also fills up your devil trigger. And which honestly, that's the most hassling part, those orbs, because they just randomly shoot beams at you and you really try to dodge it, but there's 10 of them he spawns all in a row. And you gotta use the shotgun and try and destroy as many orbs as you can. Because there's a somewhat forgiving 3-second window between when they spawn and when they actually start shooting lasers at you. And also they get your devil trigger up. But yeah, and of course he has so much health on the hardest difficulty. So I'd say you probably have to destroy the orbs, get your devil trigger up, hit him a couple times with the Dark Knight Sparta, sword when it's super long in devil trigger mode. You probably have to do that probably like 30 times, and in the meantime, he's smashing smashing the boss area. He's smashing the magma pit, and you gotta jump from like platform to platform and run around and shoot at him and things like that. And then at the very end, when he's like he's got like 10% his health left, I'm like, oh my god, this is now or never. So I just use all my vitals. If my health's really low, I use my vital stars. I use all my holy waters.
Yeah.
And I use all my devil stars. And I finish him off with using, even not all my holy waters could kill him. Like on the hardest difficulty,
wow, you
can't cheese it. Like on the easier difficulties, like honestly, you can just really kill him with holy water. Being honest, but on the hardest difficulty, that's when I actually appreciated Mundus. Because the previous difficulties, I'm like, oh, it's the end of the game. Might as well use all my items. But on the hardest one, it's like, not all the difficulties is supplies. But if you use an item, and if you die and you want to restart like the level, and like you click try again, or you use like a golden orb and you revive yourself. Guess what? If you use like a devil star or a vital star, which I think you can only have like 2 vital stars if I recall correctly. But if you use 1 or 2, then that's it.
Yeah.
So what I would do if I got my ass whooped by Mundus, I know I'm not gonna beat him, or like if he kills me, then I'll just have to restart like the whole fight, pretty much, from including the beginning part where you have to do the Star Fox style, shoot him, send your dragons and shoot him while you're flying at him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mundus is very hard. It's not until the hardest difficulty I was like, oh, I can't just cheat and use my holy water because it's the end of the game. I don't care. It's like, no, even if you use your holy water, it's gonna take away probably let's say 15% of his health. And yeah, you don't want to use it until you're sure you're gonna beat him, because then if you use all your holy waters, then you use them, and if you die and you revive yourself with a gold orb and you restart that part of the boss fight, you can't use your items because you already used them, so it kind of wasted them. So yeah, that actually made it really hard.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I think I've seen gameplay. It looks ridiculously, stupidly hard. And on Dante Must Die, remind me, is that if you get hit once, you're dead?
No. If depends on the enemy. But for Mundus, if he smashes you with his fist, I think it's something you get hit 8 times, you're dead. Or if you get even if you get hit by a little laser from one of those orbs, it takes an eighth of your health. And I'm saying I got all the blue orbs at this point. I got both bars of health, and it would still take away an eighth of health, either getting hit by one of the lasers or if you get smashed by Mundus. Oh my god! And what was ridiculous, what was heart pounding, is at the end of the fight when he's I think when Mundus only has a quarter of his health left, he puts his hands in the magma, and then he makes this meteor storm come down, and that was ridiculous because you're just running. You're there's no side roll dodging the meteors because it was boom, 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 boom. So it felt a bit like Sonic. We just gotta run around the map, and you just gotta avoid the meteors and shoot them when you can. And then use double trigger to help you just run faster so you don't get hit by the meteor shower.
Wow.
And of course, fortunately, he doesn't do that move forever. But it lasts for it felt 10 seconds when he does the meteor shower, and it's oh my god, I'm just running for my life here. And then when he stops and he can finally get up on one of the platforms and use the Dark Knight Sparta sword and hit him and kill him. But yeah. And I find it very satisfying that the hardest boss is the final boss. And it felt very climactic when I beat him on the hardest difficulty, when I knew I couldn't cheat because the holy water didn't do as much damage. It was really just really satisfying. Oh wow. that I beat the game. Because I hate in the games where like the final boss is actually like the easiest boss. I hate that because you always gotta save the hardest for last,
Yeah.
because that's when you gotta use all your skills that you learned from the game. You gotta use round trip to swing your sword at them while you get your shotgun out and you shoot the orbs and then you side roll and you dodge and you jump and like you maybe use Ifrit and double trigger mode to like actually no, sorry, for that fight you just use Sparta's sword. Or no, you could use Ifrit if you want, but yeah, you can like shoot orbs at him. But you gotta put everything you learned together. And I hate other games when it's like, oh, the final boss, you just like you just shoot him. Or you just shoot a gold arrow at Ganon and like, oh yeah, that's the end of the game. Woo! Yeah, like in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's like a ceremony. I call them ceremonial final bosses. Like the first final boss is like, I mean, that's what they do with modern games. It's like the final boss is like a ceremonial. Well, the first part is actually the boss, and then the second part is a ceremonial big send off thing, which looks cool.
Yeah. But I like it when it doesn't just look cool. It's like, oh, you actually get to fight that. You actually get to beat it. You can say, oh, like I beat Mundus, But yeah. Old games don't do you wrong with final bosses.
Yeah.
Or at least most of them.
Except for Argosax.
Oh yeah. Well, look, actually, no. I gotta play devil's advocate. Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
For Devil May Cry 2 because, honestly, Argosax, the final boss, was honestly the only good boss in the game.
Oh really?
Okay, actually, the second to that would be I'm so sorry. I only played Devil May Cry 2 maybe 3 times. The skull dude. The guy that kind of reminds you of Neo Angelo from the first game. With the skull dude, with the 2 wolves. He was okay. You fight him 3 times in the game. But you don't... He doesn't really get up in your face all the time. Like, sometimes he'll do his stinger move. But no, Argosax, the final boss in Devil May Cry 2 actually was... alongside with the skull dude was like the only 2 decent bosses in the game where they actually get up in your face and you can't just sit back and shoot at them because like 80% of the bosses you can just sit back, shoot at them. Some of their moves you don't even have to dodge. You just stand there and they try to hit you, like when you're fighting the giant Colossus thing. And he's trying to shoot his laser at you. You can just stand at the back and shoot him.
Oh yeah. I remember that boss now. The giant eyeball going. Rawr.
Yeah, and also when you play as Lucia, and you fight sorry, Heihachi Mishima's transformed version. Yeah. I'm sorry, I actually forgot that.
We're just gonna call him Heihachi Mishima now. We don't care about his real name.
Yeah. Yeah, but his laugh is so annoying. That's one thing I hate about him. But yeah, we'll just call him Heihachi Mishima. But yeah, when you fight his demon-mutated form, that actually was that was a decent boss fight as Lucia. But yeah, correction, Jimmy. Argosax, like when you go into hell and you fight Argosax himself, and the cutscene's so interesting and like beautiful because at first he appears in a woman form, and then he becomes a man. And that reminds you of how, like, Baphomet, he's like female and male.
Yeah.
At the same time. And it's like, oh my god, they're kind of drawing from like, Baphomet from like the real devil, But yeah, no, that boss, he teleported, he got up in your face. You're like, oh crap, I actually got to play the game,
Yeah.
But yeah, you could not take a backseat for that boss. But yeah, bosses in Devil May Cry 2 for the most part were not engaging, let's say.
Yeah, I got that vibe.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And so if I may go.
Yeah.
really, if I were to sum it up, the heart and soul of why I like Devil May Cry this series, because it's like you have all these moves, you have all these crazy moves with all these weapons, kind of like in a fighting game, like Street Fighter or Soul Calibur, but you're in this 3D interactive world. You're not restricted to like left side, to the 2D fights like in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Like you have all these crazy moves, and actually, in this game, with the Beowulf gauntlets, you can do the spinning kick from Street Fighter, actually.
God. Yeah.
But you have this huge, okay, not huge, but the moderately big world that's interesting, filled with things like in Devil May Cry 3, and 1, and so on 4, and then the second game. I mean, the world's not that interactive, but like I love especially the first and third one, where like the world just is so interactive, and sometimes there's blue orbs. I love this. There's blue orbs hidden throughout the games, and in Devil May Cry 1 and 3 and 4, you have to use your moves to get to those high places, to get to like the blue orbs. For example, like there's a blue orb in Devil May Cry 3 and Devil May Cry 4 where you got to use the sideways air dash as Dante to get to. And I love that, how not only do you just have these crazy wild moves that help you fight enemies, but they also help you explore the environment. I love that. And help you like interact with this 3-dimensional world. And it doesn't feel restricted.
It's funny because when you say that, I think of like, well, what if we did take Soul Calibur and Street Fighter characters and put them in a Devil May Cry world? What if you had like Nightmare from Soul Calibur in like a Dante-esque game?
Oh, right. It's like Soul Calibur Legends, right?
Oh my god, don't remind me of that trash fire.
Would you say, was that kind of like their attempt at like Devil May Cry? I don't know.
No, is their attempt at doing something more ambitious and falling flat on their faces?
But yeah, they could have done that much better, making like Soul Calibur Legends, like making the world interactive, like making more. That's what I love about Devil May Cry, but like making the game, like they could have made Soul Calibur Legends more vertical. Like you can, I know in Soul Calibur 2, you don't have like this super high jumping ability, but like it felt very flat. Soul Calibur Legends, I recall. But I love how in Devil May Cry, like you jump like 10 feet in the air, and like there's all this verticality. Like you jump up there, you get the red orbs, and the camera moves, and you realize there's something actually hidden up there. But yeah, I love that, just the verticality in the game. And like doing high time with Rebellion or Force Edge, or trying to think of other weapons like Navan, and like just throwing enemies up into the air and being very intentional about it, being like you hold R1, you go in the direction of Dante's back, and you press triangle and you throw the enemy up in the air. I'm like, that kind of makes sense, because you gotta grab your sword from your back and like throw him up. And then when you do Stinger, you want to go towards the enemy, so you go forwards. You go in the direction of where Dante's facing with the control stick and press triangle. So I love how it's very like intentional. Of course, there are times when you do things by surprise, like even though it is rare, like using one of the enemies as a skateboard. But those are pleasant surprises.
Yeah.
And also I love like using Stinger, and you have the door, and like to speed it up, like usually Stinger has a bit of recovery time after you use it. But if you're if you're about to leave the room, you might as well just do Stinger and then press circle as you go into the door, just to speed it up, just to go to the next area. Save like half a second. It's just fun.
I see that happen all the time.
Yeah. Also, like doing Stinger off of a ledge, and you automatically jump. I love that. You automatically do like this forwards jump if you do Stinger like off an edge. Oh, and then like in the first one, they don't have this as much in like 3 and the 2 and 4. But there's certain areas in the first one where if you press triangle, Dante will do like a unique like animation. So, like for example, if there's a ledge that's roughly like I don't know, like 10 feet high, or maybe like 8 feet high, Dante will like if you press triangle, and you stand still, Dante will just jump up. He'll actually grab the ledge and pull himself up, so you don't have to wall jump.
Right.
You don't have to press triangle twice. Or, oh my god, if you go to a railing, pretty much any railing in the first game, and you face it, you're standing still, you just press triangle. Dante will actually like vault, like swing his legs over, and he'll vault over the railing.
Wow.
And if you wait, you don't press anything. When Dante lands, you can see, well, he bends his knees and then, absorbs the fall with his knees, then he stands back up again. But of course, if you're speedrunning the game, you don't appreciate the animation, you just fall and you just start running again. But but yeah, there's a lot of attention to certain unique animations in the first one. Made it feel like real in a way, like, oh, Dante, when he like drops down, he actually like, absorbs the shock with his feet, and like, oh, Dante actually can grab ledges, and that was so cool. Like in like 2001 era, like those beginning games were like, or even like in Banjo-Kazooie, he's like, oh, Banjo, we can like go on a ledge. Oh, that's so cool. You can shimmy, or like in Splinter Cell, oh, you can shimmy on ledges and go up ledges, and I don't know. That still touches me. In the first one, you can like climb up ledges. And my memory's failing me. I think that happens maybe a couple times in the third one, but the first one happened a lot more often. So specifically the vaulting over barriers in the first one and falling down, and also like jumping up and grabbing ledges and pulling yourself up.
Yeah, no, I've seen those unique animations. I guess are they not in the sequels?
Yeah, no, they're not. I was thinking about Devil May Cry 3 right now. I was thinking about the fourth one and the second one. No, those unique animations to railings and I don't know, 8-foot high walls. No, they're not. They're not there anymore.
Oh, interesting.
That's just in the first one. Yeah, and it's funny because like that's something you can like I won't say miss, but I kind of accidentally did that. Oh, when I was at a railing in the first one, and I just pressed triangle. I was like, oh, Dante swings over the railing. Like it was a really pleasant surprise. But yeah, they did not bring that back in the sequels, which I'm slightly disappointed about.
Speaking of things,
We don't really need them.
Yeah, I mean they're nice to have. I mean they kind of make the character feel alive. I guess they make up for it with the cutscenes in 3, obviously, but I always like when a character has a unique animation, makes them feel more alive. Especially when the character, and as a player, you're like, oh well, I should be able to do this, or if I do this, it'll be different or unique or something. And it just makes it's just a sign of quality, and it does show you how much quality went into the first Devil May Cry. One thing I wanted to bring up though, because I know you'll have a fun reaction to it. What was your first impression upon seeing the Devil May Cry 3 mocap videos?
That made me how would you say? I don't want to say cringe, but like
beyond cringe.
It made me be like, oh my god, like people actually choreographed this, and like these Japanese dudes, I think Hideki Kamiya himself, were like choreographed cutscenes, and it rubbed off like the energy of we're so cool. And I remember Hideki Kamiya, one of the stunt guys, he does the first cutscene where he puts his legs on the table, and then of course in real life the phone isn't just gonna flip into your hand, so he has his assistant guy just take a newspaper and then put it in his hand, and he pretends oh yeah, when I kick the table, when I put my feet up on the table, the phone went to my hand. I'm like, right. Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry.
Or Dante doesn't have a name for the story yet in the third one, but yeah, that was made me very happy. I don't want to say cringe though, but
it kind of added
very
a new layer to the game for me. It's like, oh my god, this is what they actually looked like, and they had to actually act out. And the fact that Jester was like a real human being making those movies.
Oh my god, I forgot that. Yes.
I absolutely lost it. I was like, oh my goodness, this is real.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved how like those videos were just honestly just like just made me feel ridiculous. Kind of like how the game is, the game kind of is ridiculous. Like having these superpowers, and then like you were like fighting demons and like these dark, scary creatures, but Dante's like, oh, I'm chill, I'm so cool about it. And you're doing like all these like gymnastics and all these like cool moves, and you're kind of showing like like the evil monsters, and you're showing the audience, oh, Dante, like he's not scared because he's doing all these cool moves, like no one's watching, like Death doesn't have a hold on Dante. He's not like afraid of anything,
Right, he doesn't afraid of anything.
Yes, he doesn't afraid of anything. That's partly why I look up to Dante, because like even the face of like scary things and like demons and monsters, he's still like cool and chill, which I think we should all be like. We should all like be like cool and chill and like not give up hope when like, oh, there's all these demons that want to like kill us, Could be like analogy for like, oh, there's all these bad people that want to mess with you, but like you're just gonna be chill and cool and like maybe say some funny lines,
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, even the second one, the music's some of the songs are actually pretty good in the second game. Like, it's funny, even though like the second one, the story like really had no direction, that sucked. They still got the music. Like in all games, like the music, no matter what, is always good. I like how do they make like bangers every single game?
Yeah.
No matter if it's like different direction, like different obviously the second one like wasn't Hideki Kamiya, but like it still got the banger Capcom sound team music,
Yeah. It's what I appreciate, especially in series like Sonic, where the music is always fire, even if the game sucks.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and also I love one reason I like Devil May Cry 3 Dante a bit more than Devil May Cry 1 Dante is because he's younger, and like when I was playing the game I was like actually I was 12 at the time, the first time I played Devil May Cry 3. And like that just resonated with me more. When the first one he just seems a bit older. But yeah, in the third one I don't know, like he also is like, he's not even wearing a shirt, he's just like wearing a jacket, and he's getting all like pretty up in his jacket and his like leather pants. And to me that was like it almost like exuberates like this kid-like personality of like, yeah, I'm not even gonna wear a shirt, I'm just gonna like wear a jacket. And like that kind of resonates with me, like yeah, maybe that, but like being a kid having fun and like just being like, yeah, I'm gonna wear like rubber boots and like my bucket hat and like no t-shirt and like go to the beach or something as a kid. Like, I don't know. That's kind of what like Devil May Cry 3 Dante's like. Yes, this kid-like characteristic about him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And Virgil's the opposite of that.
Yeah, Virgil, he's got his vest on, and he's got his trousers and his boots and he's got his coat, his Giorgio Armani coat. And he's so cool, and he's got his hair slicked back, but of course Dante's got his hair down, come on, shaggy dude, But like when they're fighting, you can see Dante and Virgil actually look exactly the same because in the first cutscene, after the first boss fight, Virgil's hair gets all wet, and you're like, oh my god, they both got the shag haircut. But then Virgil slicks back his hair, and like, see, they're similar, but they're not quite the same because really Virgil's the win. But yeah, I love his hairstyle. Kind of just lets it grow, lets it grow. This lets it does what he wants. Where Virgil's like, oh, it has to be slicked back because I'm so like mature because I show my forehead because usually as a kid I don't want like you have like bangs and like when you're younger, but like as an adult, as a man, it's like, ooh, if you show your forehead, it's like handsome and it shows like you're intelligent or something. But Dante has like also this kind of like in a way a bit of like immature like haircut, just having like the shag haircut.
Yeah.
We're like, and obviously Virgil, like he's all prim and proper and like he's like so cool, but like cool in a different way. Virgil's like cool in that like he keeps his calm. Where like, I mean Dante keeps his calm too, but what gets me is at the end of Devil May Cry 3, Dante gets a bit personal because he says to Virgil, well, right now my soul is telling me to stop you, and I love that. Where every like in Devil May Cry 1 and 3, I love how Dante at the beginning of the game is all cool, he's all chilled out. When it comes to the last or the second last mission, like when Trish dies, Dante gets emotional, or like when he saves Trish, and like the third last mission, he's like, oh, I saved you because you look like my mother. And like I love that. And like, oh yeah, and also in the third one when he's like, he's saying to Virgil why he's gotta stop him because he's gonna like bring all these demons in the world, and he's like, Virgil, like you're misguided, like you think like, oh, you need this power because like Mundus and his goons killed our parents, and we got like you gotta have all this power, but you got it wrong, man. You can't control all the demons. And like I love that, how he's Dante in the first and third one, he's all cool and chilled out and like comical and like doesn't take things too seriously. But then at the end of the game, then it gets real. I love that change in character,
Right. It's almost like a cycle. The Dante cycle is you play the whole game where you think he doesn't care, but at the end he finally breaks down and cries, and that's how you know.
Oh, yes, he actually does care.
Yeah,
and the game's called Devil May Cry. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. In Devil May Cry 3, every time you start a mission, usually at the end of the cutscene, because pretty much every mission has like a cutscene at the beginning, it shows the number, but you gotta look for it. It's like Dante just took the blood from his forehead and put it on the wall, and it dripped down and it drew a 7. I love that. Really? How like every mission starts. Huh?
Oh, that's why her rocket launcher leaves a 6 on the floor. I was thinking, why does it leave a 6?
Exactly, or 3. No, Jimmy. But yeah, it's a 3 in the third mission. Yeah.
Okay, but I just saw the cutscene from mission 6, and it was a 6.
Oh, from the blast, the black blast mark on the ground. That was a 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I never realized. But no,
it's because the the mission numbers always match the cutscene in the beginning, and it's hidden. It's like you don't quite see it. Wow, this guy's good, jumping off enemies and like using Agni and Rudra like that.
Yeah,
I'm impressed. That's another thing I love. You can jump off enemies. Like I can't think of another game where you can throw an enemy up in the air, and then like you can get to like even higher by jumping off of them.
Right.
I love that. Oh, and another thing. Look, I mean, I love physics. Like I study aerospace engineering, and like even as a kid, I was into physics. And like when playing this game, I realized, like in the first one, the higher you jump, like if you do a double jump, and then you do Helmbreaker, you do twice the damage than if you just do one jump and do Helmbreaker. I'm like, oh, even like as like 11-year-old, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense because like the higher you go, the more gravitational potential energy. And when you come down, the more velocity you have, the more kinetic energy. So kind of, okay, maybe when in real life you do maybe more than twice the damage, but it's a video game. It doesn't have to be exact, the physics, but that's what I like about the game. It's like physics, but like on steroids. Like they'll take the smallest thing and they'll make it ridiculous. Like, when Dante shoots his guns in the air, they make him float longer in the air, which like isn't really true unless you pointed the gun straight down, and plus even then, like the mass of the bullets is very small. But like it would help you stay in the air in real life like a bit longer if you made like machine gun jetpack, like jetpack joyride. But I like how in Devil May Cry, I love the troll science. It takes the littlest things where like technically that would keep you in the air longer, but it makes it like I love how it just exaggerates it. Like, Dante stays an extra like 4 seconds in the air if you shoot your pistols,
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite move?
Yeah. Favorite move is Stinger.
Yeah.
That's just a great move. Just gliding, just doing this huge dash like this. I don't know, this like 3-meter long dash, and just using the point of your sword, holding it one-handed, and you kind of like spear, kind of like use it as a spear almost. This big ridiculous sword, and you get all that reach, and you close the distance from the enemy, and then you're in their face, and then you hit them more. And yeah, I mean, these enemies right here, the chessmen are cool because like when you hit them with Stinger, they don't fly back. Chessmen are nice in a way because you can just keep on like hitting them. But like sometimes if you Stinger, you actually want to choose not to use Stinger like in the first game, especially with sometimes with the puppets. I mean, it depends on your playstyle because when you hit the puppets, marionettes, excuse me. They'll fly back, and sometimes it's a bit annoying because you have to run to them again. If you use Stinger. But also another thing I love is like in the first one using the environment so that you can for example use the Stinger into like one of the marionettes, and then you push them into a corner, and then you run up to them, and then you can do your 3-hit combo again. And usually the 3-hit combo will knock them back, but because they're in a corner, you can just keep on using the triangle button and do your combos, and you don't have to worry about them flying back and you have to chase after them. So I love that, using the environment to your advantage, corner your enemies and to divide them up and use the space, to dance, if you will,
Yeah.
Or that, using the the pole to swing around it.
Oh, that was
and
my favorite
fight the dudes. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, this game actually made me pick up gymnastics again.
a true Devil May Cry fan. If you haven't modeled your life after becoming Dante, are you really a truly Devil May Cry fan? I don't think so. But yeah, I love uneven bars. Those are a lot of fun in gymnastics. I mean, you start on one, and then you jump to the next one, and then you swing off that one. So much fun. Oh, and of course, destructible objects, always good. Get red orbs from that. Oh my god, I love these statues where they test you. It's you gotta use just this one weapon, but you gotta use all the moves. You gotta use everything you got. And of course, Swordmaster is gonna help, but pretty much it's just you and that weapon. Because usually, when you're fighting, you can switch to other weapons and use your guns and get your style up that way. But it's the statues, it's you gotta master this one weapon to get the blue orb. I love that challenge. Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that because I never actually understood until I fought these statues exactly what the game wanted you to do to get the combo. So they actually serve as a tutorial that, I thought if I used the same combo and over again, that would be fine. But no, the game rewards you for using different movesets, and that's actually how you get your combos and your style points up.
Yes, exactly. And you get more orbs, when you beat the level, you get more. Every mission, you get more orbs depending on your rank.
Right.
So if you get that S rank, then you get like a lot of orbs. But yeah, definitely does reward you. And it looks nice seeing that S on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Also, a classic is like when you have the doors and they got like little hand, and they got the faces on it. If you go to the door, it tries to like grab you. That's a classic. I mean, it's a very Devil May Cry thing.
That's true. I've never seen that.
Or the doors trying to hurt you.
Game.
Huh?
I've never seen that done in any other game.
Yeah. Where like the door actually like hurts you.
Yeah.
Oh, there is probably one other game I'm trying to think of. I was thinking of like Ganon's Castle from Wind Waker, but no. Hyrule Castle. Well, no, that's just a wall. It doesn't hurt you. Oh wait, or does it hurt you? Does it hurt you in Wind Waker when you try and go to Hyrule Castle? There's the big wall.
It knocks you back. There's a giant force field around it.
Oh, it knocks you back.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't actually hurt you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Still, there's no giant hand that is like.
No. The closest thing in Zelda would be like the wall masters, which pick you up and pull you around. But
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, that'd be awful.
Those are literally giant hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and the sound design. Let's talk about sound design, Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
Hands down, third one's got the best sound effects. Hands down. Oh, the ching and the ching and the woo and the wing and the. I love like Dante's Rebellion and Virgil's Yamato. I love the sounds they make, and like they sound. Ebony and Ivory?
When I first fired Ebony and Ivory in DMC1 and I heard the shells tinkling on the floor, I was like, oh wow.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I love Ebony and Ivory's the low thud. The low thud when you shoot them. It's not like this high pitched. I'll be honest, it's not like a realistic gun sound effect, but that's what I like about it. It's like this low thud, like
it has a lot of bass to it.
Yes. Yeah.
It's funny by
that's right. Yeah, I love it about Ebony.
The shotgun sounds more high pitched.
Oh yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. But every weapon sounds different. That's for certain. It's not like Black Ops 2. Every gun goes.
Yeah, that was the other big thing that I didn't like about the game. Is that not only did they feel all the same, but they all sounded the same. And they all sounded realistic, which is what made them kind of,
Yes. Oh my god. And like just going through the menu and like going going up and down. I don't know what that there's that click sound. I don't even know what to call it. It sounds like you're turning the dial on like a locker.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I know you're right. That is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Like one of those like 4 number lockers when you like there's 4 different dials, you turn it. That's what it sounds like when you're going through the menu. And also oh my god, I love in the third one we switch weapons, the I love that sound. And when you're changing costumes, I love the character select where you got like Dante in his costume, he's looking all chill. And then you got like in the background, it's like his face and it's huge and it's like another expression of him.
Yeah.
And like I think when you pick his Devil May Cry 1 costume, in this game, it's him, he's all chill. You get the full body shot, but then in the background it's his face and he's like, he's like, you dare to fight me kind of look,
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the.
I'm actually like registering an old memory. I think when I first, because I wasn't a Sony kid, right? So when I first booted up Devil May Cry 1 on the PlayStation 2 for the first time, and I just saw the intro is obviously Kino, but also like the when I clicked the like the load file, new game, whatever, my first thought from the sound effects is that this is alien technology. I don't know why I thought that. I just felt that there was something bizarrely strange about this game that just made it so different. It wasn't a Nintendo game. It wasn't an Xbox game. It wasn't a PC game. It was distinctly a game that could only exist in the PlayStation. That's how it felt to me.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I still feel like that. Even like the fourth one, even though that was multi-console.
Death and the to fifth those who buy Devil May Cry on Xbox.
Yes. Yeah. Except the reboot Devil May Cry. That feels like that could be on the Xbox as well, because it's.
No one can have that because
like it seems very Americanized.
Yeah, they can have that. No one wants it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I remember back in the day. Like I never seen Devil May Cry.
I think it's funny when we rank these games that we just all quietly just assume and concur that Dante May Cry is just not part of the series at all. It's a completely different game.
Although I must admit, I liked the trailer for the it was like the re-released HD special version, the special edition. I like the trailer for that game, but of the reboot DMC, I only played the first mission. Yes, on the Xbox 360 because my beloved brother, my dear brother, got it for me on the Xbox 360 because it was in the bargain bin. But yeah, I got to play the first mission of that. That was fun. I mean, it felt like, oh, you press B to do high time? Excuse me? You press B to launch enemies up in the air?
Yeah.
You're not intentionally being like, oh, I'm going to go in the direction of Dante's back and press the main attack button. No. There's one button, like, just for high time. But I'm like, well, if you got one button just for launching enemies up in the air, then where's your style button? Are you telling me there's no more styles in this one? And, like, after playing the first mission, it's like, yeah, I guess so. I guess B is your special weapon move. Like, oh, okay. But like, I felt like you had less options and less controls from the reboot Devil May Cry.
Yeah. That game was made by. I always get them friggin' confused. There's Ninja Team and Ninja Storm, and I can never friggin' tell which one is which. I always get them confused. But what's interesting to note, you may not know this, is that DMC game is made by the same people who made Heavenly Sword.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching you play Heavenly Sword.
I don't really remember Heavenly Sword that much, but I do remember that I can see the movesets were very similar. It's like when someone asks them to make a video game for them. People assume, Metal Gear Solid and Nier Automata are like, respective Square properties. But in actuality, they're just all Platinum games that are just, being shilled out for that one specific project.
Wow, look at that. As you're fighting Virgil, like when you got like halfway past his health, now he's got the shag haircut, just like you. And oh my god, when he cuts the statues, because and then 2 seconds later, then the statue collapses. That's so good. This should be a stage in Super Smash Brothers with the Dante.
Oh, absolutely.
As a playable character.
If Dante
not just a Mii costume.
If Dante came to Smash, this would be the stage.
Yes, that'd be good. And you should be able to destroy the statues as well.
Oh yeah.
And cut through them, maybe like Virgil.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I thought that was so cool. Cutting the bullets in the air.
It's so stupid. It's so ridiculous. I love
it. It is.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I was watching the beginning of the game, and Trish was narrating it. Oh, Trish, she's from the first game. And she's like, have you ever heard of the legend of the Dark Knight Sparta? And then you see these two guys fighting, and then you're at like a third way through the game, Mission 7, like, oh, this is where the beginning of the game was. This was that cutscene from earlier. Like, now I'm back to what Trish was talking about. Why she doesn't understand why these two brothers, they got like some kind of deal with each other. They got some kind of problem with each other.
I know. I think brother stories are severely underrated.
Yeah.
Brother.
Can't think of another brother. Oh, of course, Metal Gear Solid. Of course, yeah.
And you're able to think of another one.
Oh, the necklace and the necklace just breaks.
Yeah.
He just grabs it off him. Yeah.
Does his hairdo.
Oh, you see?
It's like, I'm better than you.
He's not like his brother. He's got his hair slicked back. He's more mature, more refined. Even though they're the same age.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. Yes. And also, oh my god, I can like the Jimmy?
Well, no, I was gonna say, what was your reaction when you realized you could equip the Sparta costume?
Oh, when I equipped the Sparta costume, was like, I earned this, and I wasn't expecting it, and honestly, it was a really pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, now I can play in the purple coat, and be like, oh, he kind of looks like Virgil, kind of looks like his dad, and be like, oh, well, I can have slick back hair, and I can use the Yamato, and be so cool, and wear a purple coat. Purple's red's my favorite color, Well, even before I knew Dante, red was always my favorite color.
For me, it was like,
purple's always been a second favorite.
Because Virgil's blue and Dante's red, therefore combined, they're purple, i.e., their father Sparta.
Yes, exactly. That's what I thought too.
Yeah. And I love the fact that the costume has like a little monocle, and it's just like
yes,
it's like he's some sort of refined gentleman or something, even though he's like a demon king.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can look like a man if he wants to, I guess.
Yeah. It makes me think too that Sparta, if he was actually a character in these games, he would be a combination of Dante and Virgil's personality. So it makes sense he would look like a nobleman, but then he would be kind of like almost like a Johnny Depp, kind of nobleman where he's kind of loose and silly and like whatever, like Dante. So he'd be a combination of the two, which I think would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've always thought that'd be a cool concept. It's like, I don't know, if they don't know what to do for Devil May Cry 6, maybe make, I don't know, this is so on trend now, but Devil May Cry 0, where you play as like Sparta during the war against Mundus, where he seals the hell away from Earth. You get to play as Sparta. I thought that'd be a cool game.
Yeah. I'm honestly not sure what's going to happen in the future of the Devil May Cry series, because they released 5 after more than a decade after the last game coming out, and it was a huge hit. And it's like, okay, so are you gonna run up with the sequel, or is that gonna be it?
Yeah. Maybe we just have games that feature Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
I was gonna say, do you want to talk about, you literally bought Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. You literally fell for the meme. You literally bought that game because it had the sticker featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. That's
Devil May Cry series.
And you never beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got stuck at the skeleton.
I never beat it. And I was...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, wait, no. No, I beat the skeleton.
Oh, okay.
I beat the skeleton. Yes, I did. I used my buffs.
Uh-huh.
And I beat him. But then I got to the part where you go to the Gaza, not that Gaza, but Gaza in Tokyo, Giza, excuse me, Giza Mall or something in Tokyo City, and I don't know, it was and then there's a little part where desert part when you fight dudes, and I was like, I don't know, I was just getting kind of tired of it. I mean, Dante was he was teased on the hospital level, the first level.
Yeah.
A couple other levels. I didn't get to fight him. Honestly, I don't know. I just turn-based. Just I don't know. It's not really my thing. I got a bit bored of it, and yeah. I mean, the demons were cool in Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. There's like the pixie. There's like the big bird. But yeah, I don't know. Wasn't really propelling me to like finish it. I mean, I did want to see Dante, but I guess I didn't want to see it that much because there was Devil May Cry 2 Dante, and but yeah, I mean, no, his character design is pretty good, but
his Devil May Cry 2 design has a sponsorship with Diesel.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yes, the costume you get for beating the game on
brand is like
easy or normal.
Diesel, and it would show up some places in the world. That is the weirdest, like in-game, early 2000s in-game sponsorships are the weirdest thing ever. I should like research more of those to find out more, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, from what I recall, you just you'd wear the Diesel costume, with jeans and like the leather jacket. And like during the loading screens, it would, instead of showing you the normal loading screen in Devil May Cry 2, it'd show you Dante and say Diesel.
Yeah. So,
or Lucia and her jeans and her costume. Yeah.
So you would say overall the Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne was not worth it to see Dante.
No, like it's a very long game. It's one of those 80-hour JRPGs, and I just wasn't feeling it, man. Like in a turn-based, just not my thing. I'm a hack and slash dude. I like using the environment, interacting with the enemies in the environments, and using my crazy wacky moves. Exactly. I want to fight whenever I want. I don't want to be like too strategic about it. I just want to go, do a wall run, do a backflip, shoot the guys, maybe taunt the enemies. I just want to go when I want to. I don't want to wait for the enemy to do their thing. Because then it feels like, I don't know, it's like, we have to be fair when it's turn-based, I like, part of it is like, I like it when it feels more real, when you get to fight the dude when you want. Because in real life, not like, I guess turn-based is kind of like an analogy for real life, because you can only do your attacks so fast, and first you go, and then your enemy counterattacks, and you counterattack. But I don't know, it just feels so much slower and just feels
those
like more unrealistic.
Games. Those are for nerds and wussies. We're real men who are cool and do live action games.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly
right. Because in real life, no one is in a turn-based game. No one in real life is gonna run up to an enemy, hit them, and then walk back 10 paces to where they were in line with the rest of the dudes and be like, okay, now it's your turn to hit me. Oh, no, not my turn. God damn it, Nappa, why are you hitting him? Because it's his turn, Vegeta. I have to wait. Yeah. So I like when it's not turn-based. Feels more real, feels more like for grown men, oh yes, it's a real man's game. You fight when you want to.
I guess the closest thing would be 18th century warfare. Okay, it's our turn to fire, and now it's your turn to fire. We have to reload.
Yes.
And you do literally.
This is Devil May Cry.
Yeah, but this is Devil May Cry. This is
real.
This is real manly games.
Yes. Yeah. You could use a sword and not one, but 2 guns that look like Desert Eagles, and they got limited ammo. And they pretty much shoot as fast as you can press, square.
Yeah.
We're Resident Evil, it's you have to, conserve your ammo, and you have, maybe 1 pistol, and it, you run out of ammo, it's oh no, and then you get killed. But, in this game, no, it's you can conquer anything, man.
It's the rule of.
It's gotta set your mind to it. Yeah.
As long as it looks cool, it doesn't have to make sense. It's just how it just.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. But I appreciate it when there's a little bit of sense. It's oh yeah, physically that is very exaggerated, but like it is kind of possible. I do like that thought, you know. Like, yeah, you could flip around with nunchucks like 3 times. Like, yeah, it is possible, and it looks cool.
Yeah, you can resurrect from a sword through your chest, and go up through it and grab it.
Oh, yeah.
The Alaster.
That scarred me. Honestly, I was not expecting that in the first one when Alaster just in the second mission, like Alaster just jumps out, pierces you in the chest, and then Dante like gets up from that. Yeah. I'm like, how do you get through that hill? Because the guard is so bulky and big. Yeah. Like, how do you put your chest through that? And like what happened to your sternum, man? I mean, like the sternum is what keeps all your ribs from popping out. Like if you just cut through that, then your rib cage is gonna go like an alien. Like you remember in that movie when Will Smith's like, "Welcome to Earth," and they're like cutting the rib cage of that alien, and the ribs just go like that happens in real life. Your sternum keeps your ribs, like your ribs constantly want to go outwards, but your sternum keeps them like that. Anyways, physiologically not practical, but kind of possible. Maybe if you're like half demon, maybe I don't know. Maybe
you just have to be cool enough.
Your sternum, maybe your sternum heals right after cut it. Yeah, you just gotta be cool enough and not fear death, man. Yeah.
Laugh at death because I'm Dante.
Yes. Yeah, they thinking nothing on me, man. I've seen the Magna Carta.
We out here I've seen doing the Hellbreakers on undead Reaper bastards made out of sand. I hit them with the demon-focused Ifrit fireball. The last thing he saw was my devil trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, Dante, he doesn't be afraid of anything.
Yeah, that's why we all like him.
Yes, and I don't want to be afraid of anything, too. So I've still afraid of filters.
Yeah.
When you have impellers and like a filter and it's like, would my hand get stuck in there? But other than that, I'm fearless, man.
Yeah, like this. This is a filter.
Kind of. I mean, kind of. Okay. Honestly, I'd be scared if there's a giant snake.
I'll be honest. I never realized you could actually fight these things. I thought this was a scripted thing where you had to run away. I didn't realize you could actually defeat it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can actually defeat it. Oh. You gotta jump every time it wants to hit you. Right, yeah, you can kill it. Get its orbs. But it's skippable. You don't have to.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, and also the character design, I love oh my god, I love on Dante's jacket. He's got these big epaulets. I love that. It makes his shoulders look so broad and makes him look all big and buff and manly. And then Virgil's got his blue coat. That's it's got it's like a 3-tailed coat. So it looks awesome. And Dante's got a two-tailed coat. So when they're swinging their swords around, you can see the back of the coat goes up. In cutscenes and what have you, or when you do a backflip, the coat, the tails go apart. There's some they thought about this. And I've seen some of the videos in Devil May Cry 3. They got Ruben Langdon, in full Dante cosplay, and he's on wires. And I don't know, there's videos of him jumping up on the wires and doing backflips because he's also a gymnast. And yes, he used to be a Power Ranger, and so same thing with Virgil's voice actor. He used to be a Power Ranger too.
Oh.
I love how the actors, they do both the motion cap and the voice acting.
Yeah.
I think that's so good. So you just keep the character all in one. And but yeah, I was impressed. Hideki Kamiya actually looked, oh yeah, if you do a backflip wearing a leather coat, what happens if the tails go sweep apart and does the back of the coat go up? And yeah, that's exactly what happens. And in the game you see that reflected. And in the character, when you jump, the tails of the coat go up. When you run, the coat flaps. Just small details on the character that really make it feel, I don't know, yeah, like this is like a real person.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this might have been one of the first games to use mocap, or definitely one of the first games to use it prominently.
Yeah. I remember Silent Hill 2, that used mocap. That came out like in 2001.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think the first Devil May Cry may have, I think that used motion capture as well. That came out in 2001. But yeah, Devil May Cry 1 was for sure like one of the first games to use like motion capture. Yeah. And like also one of the like I don't know, it's kind of hit me. Like I thought, oh, certainly there must be hack and slashers older than Devil May Cry that are similar to it, but no, we're really like I feel like Devil May Cry is like as far as like from my knowledge is like is like the first like like I don't know good hack and slasher. Like I know there's other hack and slashers on like the PS1 and like and of course in Ocarina of Time, but I wouldn't call that hack and slasher. Like yeah, there's you swing your sword and you jump and you
Devil
dodge,
May Cry is
but
very much
like I feel like
its own beast, its own distinct thing.
Yeah, and I was surprised to know. Oh, there's nothing like Devil May Cry that came before it. Like in my eyes, like Devil May Cry is the original, and is the first hack and slasher, and is the best hack and slasher. Okay, and like okay, I haven't played Bayonetta, but I played Mega Rising Revengeance, and like that's a close second, I would say.
Well, yeah, it's basically the same people, or like I think a team split off and founded Clover / Platinum, and then they did their own thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I haven't played Bayonetta, but I might say the gameplay might be just as good as Devil May Cry. Yeah, yet to know that, but one day.
Yeah,
I'll play Bayonetta.
Sure.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think this might be a good place to stop. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about the series? Or
just about how the characters feel real, like just not just in cutscene but in game, like the grunts, and Virgil will say scum when you do his rapid slash. All the I just love all the sound effects and the character designs and like the character motivations. Like Dante wants to fight his brother and he wants to stop him from demons into the world, and then Virgil's like, well, like our parents got killed and I gotta like get all the power I can to like make up for it. And then like in the first one, you gotta stop Mundus from coming back. Fourth one, you got like the this Order of the Sword, and they're like in this beautiful town that looks like Florence, but actually they're actually evil, and actually what a twist, and also there's the love interest, like Kyrie in the fourth one, and like in the fourth one, yeah, Dante didn't have the now I'm serious now at the end. Dante was like chill throughout the entire game, and really it was Nero that was like angsty at the beginning, and then he gets like serious at the end, and like you see his character grow from being like an angsty like teenager to being a bit more like mature and like coming of age kind of thing, and like fighting the savior Pope dude, and saving his girl.
Yeah, my girl.
Yes.
Well, I hope one day.
They took his girl.
And now took their souls. I hope one day you get to play Devil May Cry 5 eventually.
Yes, one day. I've been very busy with school, but one day. And for curiosity's sake, I'll also play the reboot. See how that is. I'll just put it like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks, Andrew, for coming on the call and talking about your favorite game.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you for having me, Jimmy.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. See you later. Bye.